और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग।
अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाईलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में।
Controlled. You are the game. Your voice, your stats, your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a platform, it's your digital pavilion. Stop watching from the sidelines. Join the family today.
View of every ball, instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles, don't miss. This Sunday the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball, instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles, don't miss. This Sunday the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball, instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now.
250,000.
Big hits, better angles, don't miss.
Secret. You don't just watch the game. Confident, controlled. You are the game. Your voice, your stats, your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a platform, it's your digital pavilion. Stop watching from the sidelines. Join the family today.
हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, उसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की।
This Sunday, the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles, don't miss. This Sunday, the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles, don't miss. This Sunday, the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles, don't miss. This Sunday, the power is in your hands.
The 250,000 secret. You don't just watch the game. Confident, controlled. You are the game. Your voice, your stats, your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a platform, it's your digital pavilion. Stop watching from the sidelines. Join the family today. The 250,000 secret. You don't just watch the game. Confident, controlled. You are the game. Your voice, your stats, your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a platform, it's your digital pavilion. Stop watching from the sidelines. Join the family today. The 250,000 secret. You don't just watch the game. Confident, controlled. You are the game. Your voice, your stats, your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a platform, it's your digital pavilion. Stop watching from the sidelines. Join the family today. The 250,000 secret. You don't just watch the game. Confident, controlled. You are the game.
लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल।
अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में।
टूर्नामेंट। अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल
अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में।
your moments.
Criconet,
250,000
आपके
fans,
control में।
coaches and players have found their home. This isn't a
अब
platform,
क्रिकेट सिर्फ
it's your
देखना ही
digital
नहीं। अब
pavilion.
क्रिकेट का
Stop
मजा जीने
watching
का
from the
टाइम है।
sidelines.
कॉल आया,
Join the
मैच को
family
पॉज
today.
कीजिए। वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए।
The 250,000
देखिए मैच
secret.
हर एंगल
You
से।
don't just watch the
अब अपने
game.
मन पसंदीदा शॉट के
Confident,
हाईलाइट डाउनलोड
controlled.
कीजिए सिर्फ एक
You
टैप में।
are the game. Your
Criconet,
voice, your
क्रिकेट
stats,
आपके कंट्रोल में।
your moments. 250,000 fans, coaches
अब
and
क्रिकेट
players
सिर्फ देखना
have
ही
found
नहीं।
their
अब
home.
क्रिकेट
This
का
isn't
मजा
a
जीने का टाइम
platform,
है।
it's your
कॉल आया,
digital
मैच को पॉज
pavilion.
कीजिए।
Stop
वहीं
watching
से
from
फिर
the
शुरू कीजिए।
sidelines. Join the family today.
देखिए मैच हर एंगल से।
The
अब अपने मन पसंदीदा
250,000
शॉट के हाईलाइट
secret.
डाउनलोड
You
कीजिए
don't
सिर्फ एक
just watch
टैप
the
में।
game. Confident,
Criconet,
controlled.
क्रिकेट आपके
You
कंट्रोल
are
में।
the game. Your voice, your stats, your
अब
moments.
क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं। अब
250,000
क्रिकेट का
fans,
मजा जीने
coaches
का
and
टाइम है।
players
कॉल
have
आया,
found their
मैच को
home.
पॉज कीजिए।
This isn't a
वहीं से फिर
platform,
शुरू
it's
कीजिए।
your digital pavilion. Stop
देखिए
watching from
मैच
the
हर एंगल से।
sidelines. Join the
अब अपने मन
family
पसंदीदा
today.
शॉट के हाईलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए
The
सिर्फ एक टैप में।
250,000
Criconet,
secret.
क्रिकेट
You don't just
आपके
watch the
कंट्रोल
game.
में।
Confident, controlled. You are the game.
अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ
Your
देखना
voice,
ही नहीं।
your
अब
stats.
क्रिकेट का मजा
your
जीने का
moments.
टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को
250,000
पॉज
fans,
कीजिए। वहीं
coaches
से
and
फिर शुरू
players
कीजिए।
have found their home. This isn't a
देखिए मैच
platform,
हर एंगल
it's your
से।
digital
अब अपने
pavilion.
मन पसंदीदा
Stop
शॉट के
watching from
हाईलाइट
the
डाउनलोड कीजिए
sidelines.
सिर्फ एक
Join
टैप
the
में।
family today.
Criconet, क्रिकेट
The
आपके कंट्रोल में।
250,000 secret. You don't just watch the game.
अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ
Confident,
देखना ही नहीं।
controlled.
अब क्रिकेट
You
का
are
मजा
the
जीने का
game.
टाइम है।
Your
कॉल
voice,
आया,
your
मैच को पॉज
stats,
कीजिए।
your
वहीं से फिर
moments.
शुरू कीजिए।
250,000 fans,
देखिए
coaches and
मैच हर एंगल
players
से।
have found their
अब अपने
home.
मन
This
पसंदीदा
isn't a
शॉट के हाईलाइट
platform,
डाउनलोड
it's
कीजिए
your
सिर्फ एक
digital
टैप में।
pavilion. Stop watching from
Criconet,
the sidelines.
क्रिकेट आपके
Join the
कंट्रोल
family
में।
today. The
अब
250,000
क्रिकेट सिर्फ
secret.
देखना ही नहीं।
You don't
अब
just watch the
क्रिकेट का
game.
मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए। वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाईलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में।
मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, all of us have had a scrumptious lunch. Proved. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, a quick question before we get started. How many of us are fully present here now? Physically, we all are, I can see you. How many of us are actually fully present here? Show of hands. Others still negotiating with your lunch? I would ask for a moment, ask and request you all to quickly shake up a bit in a manner you would like to. Just sitting, shake up your body. Yes, you can do this. However you feel comfortable, just to make sure we get the energy back into the room. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, quickly, I really am looking forward to all of us literally, physically shaking up. And that's something that works wonders. Yes, thank you so much. She was getting to the drum movement. Okay. With that, I welcome all of you back for this post-lunch session, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our strategic partner, Velox Media, before we actually get started. Velox Media, ladies and gentlemen, is a B2B knowledge-sharing platform dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses with insights, ideas, and resources across diverse fields, fostering communities where learning and innovation thrive. Thank you, Velox Media, for your contribution and support to IndiaSoft 2026. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Velox Media. Thank you. And as we move forward, we now turn our attention to a sector that is central to India's industrial growth story. Electronics manufacturing in India is no longer limited to companies. It is steadily moving towards integrated systems, scale, and global competitiveness. This session, ladies and gentlemen, brings into focus the journey from capability to leadership and what it takes to position India as a true manufacturing powerhouse on the global stage. To lead this conversation, we have with us someone who brings deep expertise in cybersecurity, research, and technology ecosystem. May I please invite Ms. Kumud Varva. Okay, I'm sorry I have your name wrong here. Ms. Kumud Dubey, Founding Director, Route 64 InfoSec Research Foundation, to moderate this session. Please join us on stage, ma'am. Yes, please, a round of applause. Thank you so much. Joining her on this panel, we have someone representing global manufacturing perspectives. I would warmly like to invite Mr. Raj Shah, CEO, CMI. Mr. Raj Shah. Some more energy, ladies and gentlemen. Has Mr. Vinod Sharma joined us in the room? Mr. Vinod, are you there in the room? So Mr. Vinod Sharma, who's the Managing Director, Decca Electronics, would also be joining us shortly for this session. Next, from a company driving large-scale electronics manufacturing, may I please invite Mr. Satyendra Singh, CEO, Sirma SGS. Thank you, sir, for joining us. With deep expertise in surveillance and electronic solutions, I invite Mr. Sanjeev Sehgal, Managing Director, Sparsh CCTV. A bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, bringing in leadership from the semiconductor and electronics ecosystem, may I please invite Mr. Varun Manwani, CEO, Tatra Group. That is Mr. Varun for you, ladies and gentlemen. A better energetic round of applause. With that, I would like to hand over. Mr. Vinod is here? Yes. No problem. Let's welcome Mr. Vinod Sharma, ladies and gentlemen, Managing Director, Decca Electronics. With that, I'd like to hand the conversation to Mr. Kumud to lead it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So I welcome all my esteemed panelists for a really important session in today's India's ecosystem. wherein just recently I was watching a podcast by a famous entrepreneur from India, an Indian company, and he said कि नट बोल्ट कसने को हम कैसे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कह सकते हैं. So that is what we are doing in India. We are actually doing nut bolt. So I would like, your perspectives कि क्या हम वाकई नट बोल्ट कस रहे हैं या हम actually मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं, and where are we heading in this global supply chain when we say that we are assembling our electronic components and we are making advanced electronics in India. I would like to understand from everyone where actually do we stand in this particular system. So sir, just a second. Sir, what is your perspective? How, you must have heard of the business strategy China +1. So what exactly is your take on that particular business strategy and the overall global supply chains?
That's a lot of questions. And, yeah. So first जो आपने कहा नट बोल्ट कस रहे हैं, तो मैं नट्स बनाता हूँ, वो वरुण बनवानी साहब बोल्ट्स बनाते हैं, और एक कसने वाले बीच में बैठे हुए हैं सरिंदर सिंह जी. So वो वाला सवाल ये आंसर करेंगे कितना नट बोल्ट कस रहे हैं. But on a more serious note, so आपने पूछा कि where are we on that journey first? And are we only doing nut bolts? I think it's important that we understand that. So the first, after, of course, you all know that 40 years ago, many people in this room, we were making a full-fledged television in India. We had 4-5 brands who are well known nationally, the BPLs, Onidas, Videocons of the world, Crown, Teslas before that. And not only was the whole television being made in India, but most of the components, I would say 85-90% of the components were being made in India. And then we took this policy decision to make the whole industry global and bring down the tariffs to zero. Those large companies who were large by Indian standards are not large globally. Number one. Number two, they had not probably invested enough in design. And as you know, this industry is something which is very dynamic, changes very rapidly, and hence they did not have what the market wanted. Like is what we are doing in terms of the semiconductor policy in India and the component policy in India. ECMS, ISM 1.0 and hopefully soon ISM 2.0. How do we make sure that where the world has already gone to a completely different level, the TSMCs of the world, can we somehow start doing our own ATMPs, our Warren's companies doing that? And these are deep, very capital intensive, even a 500 crore, 1,000 crore investment is nothing. It's too small. They are technology intensive, the kind of talent know is not available, the skills are not available. So it needs a lot of courage and conviction to be able to do that. Very happy that some companies which are on the dais and off the dais are doing that. The third stage is design. Who's going to design this? Who's going to own this? Who will tell Satyendraji that in your board please use Bakery's capacitors? Can only be done when the designer is someone who has designed for India, who's understood the India. And the fourth one is, finally at the end of the day, all this boils down to the final brand. The Panasonics and the Sonys and the Sharps of the world made Japan, or Toyotas of the world. Samsung and LG's made what it is, and today Haiers and Huawei's and Xiaomi's are making China what it is. Where are the Indian brands that we can take it globally and will be recognized in Indian brands in electronics? So we have a long way to go. Fortunately, nut bolt kasne se bahut upar aa chuke hain hum log. A lot of exports are happening right now. But like I said, these are first steps. We are now getting into the second part of the relay. I hope I answered your question.
Just having a follow-up question to what you said. So you just talked about the skills. Don't you think हम लोग Indians ही तो actually maybe जो TSMC या जो भी हमारी semiconductor related companies हैं, वहाँ पर we are the ones who are actually developing those chips. What happens here in India? Why can't Indian brains be used to develop an Indian-based component? So that's what I want to understand.
Yeah, I think it's so not just the brains, but you need a whole ecosystem, and that's why some of our brains, when they go abroad, they've done so well. So the whole ecosystem was missing, which means, like I said, are we assembling at scale? Are we manufacturing components? Is the design being done here? Are there brands that can dictate that design? It's a long process. I mean, Japan took 50, 60 years to do that. China's taken the last 30 years to do that. And I would say we've spent 10 years there. And we still have another 10 years to get to that scale. We are quite confident in the industry that, and in the government that we'll be able to get.
And whatever we had proposed was exceeded, and then our journey started. From there, that was the start. That was the point which I'm talking about 2 decades earlier. I'm talking about 2007, 8, 9, 10. Today, when I was sitting on the other side of the table 2.5 years ago, I mean, when I used to talk to my peers who were running worldwide strategy and worldwide manufacturing, there was never a conversation wherein the supply chain executive did not know about India. Everyone knew about India. Everyone wanted to make in India and wanted to solve their China manufacturing problem or China manufacturing dependence. And we had a lot of sharing between us to be done. So we have moved significantly. And if you borrow the title of the book, long ago there was a book by Louis Gaston which was about IBM. It said, "Elephant can dance." So this elephant called India is dancing. It's definitely dancing, it's becoming very nimble, it's becoming very powerful. But then let's take a pause and look at the realistic situation. I'll go back to your point about nut bolt kasre, and that's what we were talking before we came onto the stage. We will have to realize as electronics industry or as the country that electronics is not same as, let's say, automotive industry, which is often that comparison is often given. I've been in many conversations wherein somebody said, "Yeah, automotive sab kuch kar le, tum kyun nahi kar lete?" And my previous company was very, very large, tens of billions of revenue, and there we, the industry thought that we could move the needle, and we believed if someone could move the needle, we were in a good position to move the needle. But the fact of the matter is, electronics industry is very nuanced, and nut bolt kasna, what you call it, I'll kind of put it in 2 pieces. One is literally nut bolt kasna, wherein you get the PCBA. The PCB is there with all the components onto it. You put 3, 4, 5 wires, literally do the nut bolt tightening, and you say it's manufacturing. Like some of the companies tried and failed. Other one is you go to the next level where you are doing assembly. So this is as deep a manufacturing as can be done in electronics manufacturing sector. Nobody can and should try to do component manufacturing, everything, all of it. You can try to do some of it. And I know we have a diverse opinion right here on the panel because I was talking to another panelist. The fact of the matter is the component runs at scale. That means you can't look at it just as a vertical integration play. You'll have to look at it as an independent business, which is also feeding to your manufacturing but also selling it to everybody else. If you look at the full play, like Vinod was saying, and I was thinking exactly the TV industry long ago. Actually, when I was doing my engineering, I did my internship in TV company, wherein they made the TVs and they had lots of components made by their sister concerns, right?
Why to go far? I mean, recently I would just like, because you are from the automotive and you have been working there. So we just recently bought our Indian-made Mahindra's EV, right? So that, and I think more or less Mahindra and Tata, the EVs that they have created, I mean, I would say manufactured, if you allow me to say that. So they have been, compared to Tesla, I mean, they say that the kind of design that we have given is comparable. So do you agree there? And I mean, Indian companies doing so well in assembling and manufacturing. So
I'll not say that I'm qualified to comment on these large companies, and they're also my customers, by the way, so I got to be very careful in every word which I use. But I totally agree with you when I talk to them and their peers. These companies are at the bleeding edge of the technology. They are going for the best of the technology. They are looking at the best of the spec. They are going after the best of the manufacturers, and they are bringing the best of the products. But back to electronics, I mean, because that's what the session is about. If you look at electronics, one of the reasons why we do not have a solid manufacturing or solid electronics ecosystem as China has is because we are not interconnecting the pieces. So we have manufacturing as an isolation. We have design. I mean, if you look at every company in the world has design centers in India. We have all sorts of brands. I mean, I wouldn't name them, who are doing very well. The success is making sure that there is a brand of India, there is a manufacturing of India, and there is a design in India. When we have everything, then the whole value stays in India. And that's business. And that was another conversation I was having with one of the panelists. He was saying that he has everything. I said, thank you very much. This is exactly what we need. Because then we are sustainable, then we can, few years down.
Okay, not our own, but yes, as far as the exports are concerned, we are the biggest exporters of mobile phones. I mean, after China probably, iPhone, if I'm not wrong, exporters of the packaged iPhone. So we are going there. Yes. Varunji, because we are into the, I'll get back to you, sir, because yours is a different component. Yours is a different, product. So, Varun, in regard to what Satyendraji just mentioned, do you have the same perspective as his, or do you disagree that we have almost, started manufacturing rather than nut bolt cussing?
So, I think there's nothing wrong with assembly, right? Why are we, why is there a negative connotation around
the negative connotation is being given by an Indian company. I'm falling short of saying the name.
That's fine. Yeah. I think our thoughts and our impressions have to evolve, right? The industry, the world is evolving, right? How AI is bringing in change, it's a paradigm shift. So likewise, we have to also start thinking differently. So that's first point. The second point, and I take a cue from Satyendraji. So yes, this debate of automotive has always been there in front of electronics, and the answer is very obvious, right? Automotive is huge, bulky, so it had to be built in India. Do you know what part of electronics was not being, what part of automotive was not in on that journey? And that happens. So having said that, we've got this huge gap which we have to somehow fulfill. Now, if you just try to understand the gap, back in the 2000s or the 90s era, when India was making TVs at very large scale, today making TVs at the component level is not easy anymore because the technology has hugely changed. So one has to first get access to technology, and technology is not democratized. Nobody wants to give you the technology. Even when we hear of JVs and all that, those JVs are by and large on paper. They're not really giving you access to technology. So for India to really gain this technology, and while the elephant has woken up and is walking, etc., but technology is moving much faster. So for us to really get deep into manufacturing, and I think that's the topic today. It's not about assembly and manufacturing. I think every company on this panel is doing good enough to be able to say that we are doing manufacturing in our own way. It's about how much more deep can we go, and how much ever deep we can go, we will never be able to have 100% self-reliance, because the supply chains don't work like that, right? And in a
value chain, I mean, where do we stand there? I think that has also improved quite a bit.
So value chain, I would say, is reasonably healthy. Yes, there's always a lot of scope of improvement that whatever we need to do. But look, the entire thing is evolving. So there are brands coming up, right? Sanjeevji's company is a product company, brand company. The value chain is represented here. So Vinodji is in components, we are in components. We have the assemblers here. Then you have someone who is doing market intelligence. So the entire value chain is here. I don't think there's a challenge. We need to change our perception and stop just emulating China. This country is very different. Our market is very different. We have to build for ourselves. Certain companies who feel that they can build for the world, we can do that.
Very strong point. I mean, we have our own domestic market, which is so strong.
Absolutely. And we have companies coming to us not only for manufacturing within India, right? But they want to participate in this market. And you name it. Every single country, every single company wants to today have a footprint in India. including Indian companies, every boardroom talks about, do you have a footprint in electronics or not? So what I'm trying to tell you is that, I just learned today that NVIDIA was born in 1993, right? And NVIDIA as a name popular to everybody became popular only in the 2016-17 time frame. So there's a journey. Give us that journey. Maybe not necessarily in 1 or 2 generations, but it will happen, and we have to choose what is important for our country, or as a company what's important for us as a market. I can tell you in some of the products that we're packaging, the memory product that we're packaging, today we are doing 55% of exports. So why are those companies coming to us? Only because of non-China? It's because of they see that there are opportunities available from India to be able to supply, which was earlier completely monopolized by China, Taiwan. So it's not only a China plus one, it's another policy which I'm hearing very frequently now, and that's called NCNT, no China, no Taiwan. So we have to realign our supply chains, we have to realign our way of thinking, and also stop cursing the Indian manufacturing ecosystem and saying this nut bolt. The nut bolt is also important for the wheel to move within a vehicle. Thank you.
Just quote unquote again, that negative connotation, as I said, is being said by the people who are into that industry themselves. So that was.
One little intervention, because I think it's important for us to understand that. You mentioned that Indian market is so large. So domestic market is so large. China had actually a larger market even 30 years ago. And yet they decided to focus on exports to the world. And so I think that understanding of why they did it, how difficult it was, is very important to have. And while we speak of China plus one, let us remind ourselves that a housewife in Mexico, when she decides which washing machine to buy, for example, or a refrigerator to buy, or somebody in India does the same decision, actually nobody is looking at whether this was built in a democratic country like India, or was it done in so-called communist country like China, and what were their policies. The point I'm trying to make is the consumer at the end is ruthless when he takes a decision. He wants the best value at the lowest price possible. And I think China learned that the hard way, because they first decided to focus on large exports. And then the domestic was going to happen. Maybe our over-dependence on the domestic market to do everything else, it may have happened because of our policies, etc. But it's probably also what holds us back from becoming a global player. And especially because we're discussing ESC and we're discussing exports, I think it has to become, very happy that Varun mentioned, 55% exports. So that's the kind of companies we need which will create the future we want.
Just one quick comment. The big domestic market, of course you calibrated us that how big is it really as big? But that's also the risk for us as electronics ecosystem. Because everyone is looking at India as the largest market. When you talk to the global executives in the company, they are saying, oh, this is the great market. Hence, that's the starting point for most of the global companies. So they are out here to compete with all of us in Indian ecosystem. So that's additional complexity we have, or additional hard work we'll have to do to get up on our feet and become the global scale, when we can say that I have a product is designed here, made here, and is, by the way, is the best quality in the world at the right price.
So Make in India turns into Design in India as well, right? That's what we are actually focusing on. That's what we should focus on.
It should be designed in India, manufactured in India, with an Indian brand. That's what I'm talking about. That's when the value, we talked about value chain, that's when the value will stay in the country. That's when you can say you will have the stickiness to the business, and the business we use start today will also be there a few years down the line. Otherwise, it's plain vanilla manufacturing. You actually provoked all of us with using that nut bolt technology. Thank you for that. But that's the reality. So that nut bolt manufacturing can very quickly evaporate if we do not have the control of the value, and which is with design plus manufacturing plus brand.
So moving on to the totally Indian brand that Sanjeev sir will actually, sir, please your perspective on how your product, or how and where do we stand at the manufacturing end?
If you ask me, then it would be a different kind of a perspective as we look into. We have been into manufacturing by birth. I am into manufacturing for the last 30 years. So 30 electronics. So maybe we always had a chance to have some products, some technologies which were required by India, and we have been doing it. I did my first when the technology, when we had a telecom revolution, I started my manufacturing career with manufacturing of telephone instruments. And this was 94, 95. So the things have been always there, had been opportunities, and we were also looking into it. So it's not about, we have to look into a completely different perspective. Yeah, definitely. I would like to talk about how people are believing in that we can't do, हम खाली screw nut कर रहे हैं, bolt कर रहे हैं, assembling कर रहे हैं. But true manufacturing can be also done. Very, very smaller things. When we started doing CCTV camera, when I did in 2008 first camera, everything was coming from China. Coming from Taiwan, sorry. So we were able to give a very good competition. By 2012, we were the #1 brand in the country. We had a 12% market share. But the things changed on there. So the complete ecosystem of electronics and especially CCTV went into China. And as of today also, top 4 companies out of 5 are from China, and they control the almost 80% of the world market. Only the #1 player in the market is almost 40% of the market share. So this is, we have to learn it from them. But it's not that we can't do it. When we started doing it, there were definitely very, very difficult times also when we were not getting the access to the technology because the complete technology went to the China. But now the things have changed a lot. So we kept on doing few smaller things like doing the casings, cables, connectors, maybe the ancillary circuits, not the main board. The ancillary circuits, it's not only about, like Varun said, it's not, why are we worried about assembling? Why are we saying assembling is... So we didn't started, let's first build up the processor board. We started with the ancillary board. We started with the things which are much easier to do it. Where we later found that these are labor intensive. Today we see we are at 4 to 6 times cheaper in labor than China. If we are able to do any component where there is more of a labor. If today I say about the housing which we do. If we talk about the aluminum housing, 40% is the raw material, 50% is the labor and 10% is the profit. If my 50% is 1/4, even though with their scale, we are 1/6, I say they are much more efficient than us, then also we are 4 times. Then also, if at their scale, I am still able to manage the same cost of the housing, what they are doing in China. That's why we are able to compete them with here. These are one of the smaller things. It's not always about, we say that we will first make the SoC, then we will make a processor, then we will make a motherboard. Let's start thinking on the other side, but things we can do it. And so it would have started with assembling only. If assembling nahi hoti, we would have not reached to this level.
Of course, I mean, that is why, Google Pixel also, after iPhone and Samsung, manufacturing units here, manufacturing as in assembly units here. So then Google Pixel has also, just 2024, they have also started their 8A, they are all being manufactured here. So yes, of course, what do I say? I mean, those assembly things we are doing, and in fact, the fab also in Gujarat, I would like to have your thoughts on that as well. So what kind of things are we doing there? And are we planning more of such fabs in different places of India?
Ma'am, we started off with assembling on SKD, then we moved to CKD. Now we have a PLI for ECMS where we are saying that we will make the components here. And by the time we start making these basic components, these fabs will also come into production. And this is a phase when, if we all remember, the MIT started with phased manufacturing program. So it is basically, we can say, it was a phased manufacturing. We started with SKDs to CKDs to now simpler components and now moving on to fabs, and with the coming years, we are going to see the complete ecosystem being built here, designed here. So we are moving towards that direction, and it's the best way forward where we can grab this opportunity, and maybe now our strength on more of AI coming in, now the strength of India more on the software side, on this AI moving on the products on the edge is going to play a major role, and that could be the success mantra for all of us.
One thing what I've observed in the whole of the panel is that we are very positive about so I mean all of us are very positive that this is going to happen. So which is a very, very good thing. And I guess this comes from kind of the vision of our leadership and probably the stability, political stability which probably we have now. And we have that vision also from the leadership. So it's very positive sign that all of us agree on at least one thing, that we are actually going to go there. We are going to reach that particular thing.
You have in panel the people who have been in this industry fighting it for last 30 years minimum.
So,
maybe
but I am giving all the credits to you all. I am not I'm not only giving the credits to the leadership, I am giving it to all of you who are actually playing the role at the ground, at the grassroots level, I would say. So quickly, Jay, I would also, from the marketing perspective, what are your thoughts on our exports and probably manufacturing? How do we market that so that we can strategically position ourselves at a better place?
So we have had a great conversation so far, and I'm aligned to so many views that we heard today, but let me simplify whatever we're talking about, and again pick up the same anecdote that you talked about, so
that has been the talking point.
Yeah. So first of all, the way these podcasters, try to make videos on, these are clickbait. एक टाइटल डाल दिया कि इंडिया में नोट बोल्ड कसना की फैक्ट्री चल रही है, so we need to, as a user, as a consumer, or the viewers of this video, especially the people who are not from that ecosystem, need to understand that assemblers is probably the first easy low entry barrier of a value chain to get into this. So Indians did not do wrong. They started the journey becoming an assemblers because that was an easy way to enter to the market. Get the components sourced from the right country and try to set up a assembly unit here. Okay. Second thing we need to really focus on this. 20 years from today, India was more focused, more driven by mentality of lala business. So, ₹2 डालने के बाद ₹3 मिलता है तो ही business था. That was the mentality that people had, let's say 20 years from today. Even the big shots I'm talking about had the same mentality. So we never saw investments into business which has higher, longer break even. Where the profitability roadmap was, let's say, 15 years, 20 years. We never saw like that. And that was one of the sole reasons that we never saw investments into semiconductor space from the larger companies, maybe 20 years from there. I'm talking about larger picture as an Indian market landscape. Now in last 20 years, especially in the last 10 years I'm talking about, we have seen sudden transformation, a lot of investments. Just speaking more on the number side of it, because I come from that background where we talk about numbers, we help clients with insights, So India mission on semiconductor, which is called as India Semiconductor Mission, ISM. We recently launched, Government of India has launched 2.0 with a commitment of 1,000 crores. But the inception of this was done in 2021, with a commitment of close to, I would say 75-80,000 crores. And today we look at the entire commitments from all the entire 6 to 8 states of close to 1.6 lakh crores. Now this investment has come along with government support, PLI incentive schemes, a lot of incentives on the ESC component side up to 25%. If you are part of the fabs, then completely up to 50% from the government of India. So what I believe is, in order to have completely value chain or ecosystem in a nation, it's not an individual's job or let's say one of the entity in the value chain's job. It's a job of entire 3 different type of entities I would rather to play around. First one is government. Government plays a really, really crucial role in setting up an entire value chain in a particular company, in a country. We have seen this in Taiwan because, I'll give you an example. Taiwan close to invested 10 to 15% of the entire GDP in R&D of the design. What they did back then and been doing consistently for years together makes them to let's say, fabricate 90% of all the semiconductor chips today. You know, look at the reliance of all the countries on that one particular country. You know, and even in that space, because the break even takes longer, as I said, fabrication units cost you almost $10 billion, and break even takes almost, let's say, 15, 20 years. We're talking about. So it was a vision that came back then, you know, and therefore this was the reason that we still have almost 6 to 7 renowned fabrication unit, you know, TSMC, UMC, Global Foundry, Intel, you know, very limited of them. And when we saw stable government from last 10, 15 years from today now, 10 years I would rather say, we came with a vision, the government came with a vision that there has to be self-reliance on setting up the entire value chain in India. And COVID taught a hardcore lesson. You know, the supply chain got disrupted. It was very unprecedented. You know, across all the ecosystem, I would say, on the electronic side as well, everybody would agree how disrupted was the entire supply chain. You know, so those hard lessons taught government of India to continue pushing for building the entire ecosystem domestically. One thing that I really agreed with Vinodji when he said that one thing we need to learn is look beyond the domestic market. You know. China aggressively thought this before 30 years when their entire government changed and Communist Party came into picture. You know, where they thought that domestic market to koi bhi cater kar sakta hai. Even that their population was blessing in disguise for them, but they thought if you want to be market leader, you have to always think from export first. You know, so if India is looking at becoming China for next 10 years, 20 years, which I believe, looking at the players and the way the developments are shaping, you know, we could be next 15 years similarly aggressively having a lot of reliance on Indian market. Indian players, you know, for semiconductors, for chips, for fabrications, for component manufacturing, for assembly as well, then we possibly have to think for export first, you know, manufacture things on such a larger scale that you get a benefit of economy of scale that China has achieved, you know, and then it becomes so inevitable that all the existing competitors that you see beyond Indian market or beyond the Indian players would definitely out of the business. Because now the reliance on companies based in India would be too much, the productions are high, and rather than India as a country depending on domestic consumption, entire world will depend on supply for India. You know, that's what the picture, I think Vinodji was also trying to talk about what China did before 30 years. And I strongly believe that with the developments that are shaping here in India as well, from the government side of it, from the private investment side of it, we together, the entire ecosystem is looking for the same vision in the next 15, 20 years. You know, so just to end on the note of what India is looking forward to and what India would possibly look up to is a close collaboration between government, private investments, and also, you know, talent pool, which is very essential because I think Varunji also talked about this, that there was a time when there was no talent on the designing side of it, and still, you know, we don't have that much of talent. But in the last 10 years, we've seen a lot of courses with the Premium Institute, which has design-related courses, and there has been close collaboration between private bodies and government bodies also to get those courses integrated so that we get the talent pool in India. The talent remains in India because now the entire ecosystem is really getting formed. So you don't have design engineers who got engineered and now moving out to work with NVIDIA or Imagination Technologies or the other designing companies, you know, but they would start working for Indian companies only. And I think once we have designers, once we have you know, component manufacturers, once we have fabs, that is fabrication units, we were always good at assemblers. You only said it. Yeah, one of the podcasters said it, right? So I think if every dot is connected, nobody can stop us to be next China. You know, and I would completely resonate with this thought that India was always called as an elephant, you know, waiting for the right time to, you know, cheer and dance. You know, wherein China was called as a dragon, US was called as an eagle. I think this era and the next 10 years are going to be for India, especially on the electronic side of it, component side of it, and the entire value chain side of it.
Thank you so much, Jay. In fact, just आपकी बात से मुझे एक ख्याल आया. 20 years back, when I was in IIT Kharagpur, we had a VLSI design lab at IIT Kharagpur at that time, and we used to do projects for companies like Global Foundry and I mean, so you know, back then also, so talent has been there. And a very positive, what I see from every one of you, maybe quick thoughts I can take from Varun, please. I mean, 10 seconds, quick thoughts on, you know, where we are leading to and where we are going to be. 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I think very exciting times, more exciting times ahead. We all have to believe in ourselves, in the country, in the ecosystem. There will be some fallouts, there's no doubt about that, but there'll be definitely a lot of success stories. As long as policy framework, Indian entrepreneurship, and the Indian demand, which is definitely there, I think the next decade or two definitely belongs to India.
10 seconds. Positive outlook about how and where we are leading to.
We are leading to be the world leaders.
Wow, very good. So, Satin, sir.
Dream big. Don't worry about failure because failures will happen, but end of the day you will succeed.
Okay,
Just
great.
dream big.
Again, on the numbers side, I'll speak. We believe, as per analysis, that India would have a contribution of close to $100 billion in terms of electronic export by 2030. That's a number that we are looking at optimistically.
Very, very nice to hear that. तो यहाँ numbers भी आ गए कि हम कहाँ पहुँचने वाले हैं. Very good.
Just for the younger members in the audience today, this message is for you. People like me were born 20, 30 years too early. You guys are lucky to be born at the right time. Make sure that it counts well. Don't let youth be wasted on the young.
Thank you so much. A very, very positive panel, and बस हम अब कुछ तो भी billion dollars 2030 तक पहुँचने वाले हैं. And the youth is, who are going to do that for us. Thank you so much, everyone. We had a great discussion, and don't mind my nut and bolt, that provocation. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Request all of you to be on stage with us for a moment, please. Thank you so much, our dear moderator, and all our esteemed panelists for a deeply insightful discussion. What emerged clearly was that India's journey in electronics manufacturing is strongly anchored in assembly, and now that very foundation is moving beyond assembly, as popularly mentioned, beyond nut, bolt, custom. And the opportunities ahead. It also reinforced that becoming a global manufacturing powerhouse requires not just capacity but consistency, a nurturing ecosystem, quality, long-term vision of leadership and perseverance of the veterans in the field. Thank you so much, Ms. Kumar, and to our panelists. Thank you for the insightful discussion. I would quickly like to invite Mr. Veer Sagar, Chairman ESC, to join us on stage. Thank you so much, everyone. Do you have a group picture? Maybe you'd like to pose for a group picture? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir. Yes, that is what I agree. Definitely. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Just a quick announcement, ladies and gentlemen. The evening session was supposed to start at 5:30 in DAY1, where we had the inaugural session as well. But we would convene a little early because our chief guest, Mr. Arjun Megwal sir, would be there early by 5. So we will start the ceremony at 5 today. Anyone interested to join, please make sure you make your way in and around 5. With that, we're ready to get started. And as we continue, we now move. I request everyone to please settle down. We have a very interesting conversation coming up. I request everyone to please settle down. With that, as we continue, ladies and gentlemen, we now move into a conversation that brings together two powerful ecosystems. The US-India corridor has emerged as one of the most dynamic spaces for investment, innovation, and strategic collaboration. This session focuses on strengthening that partnership, exploring opportunities, navigating complexities, and unlocking the next phase of cross-border growth. To lead this important dialogue, we have with us someone who brings deep experience in global consulting and cross-border engagement. May I please invite on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Juhi Nathani, Principal B, Global Consulting USA, to chair and moderate this session. Let's have a huge round of applause as Ms. Juhi joins us on stage, ladies and gentlemen. I request everyone to please settle down, a humble request. Joining her on the panel, bringing a strong leadership perspective from the United States, I invite Mr. Mark Henrich, County Executive, Montgomery, USA. Let's have Mr. Mark Henrich join us on stage. Okay. He'll be joining us soon. He's just stepped out for a moment, a bio break. Representing industry leadership from India, I warmly invite Mr. Mandeep Singh Puri, CEO, Futuresoft India Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him with some noise and energy. Welcome, sir. I'd like to invite Mr. Mark Henrich, County Executive, Montgomery, USA, to please join us on stage for this panel. Show some energy, ladies and gentlemen. With deep expertise in international taxation and advisory, may I please invite Mr. Rajesh Tripathi, Managing Director, Cherry Beckhar's International Tax Practice. Ladies and gentlemen, let us greet him with an energetic round of applause. Bringing in a global corporate perspective, I invite Ms. Dipakshi Mahandru, Director of India Government Affairs, Intel Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause as she joins us. Ms. Dipakshi. Representing legal and policy expertise in cross-border matters, I invite Ms. Chandra Lakshmi Kumaram, Executive Partner, Lakshmi Kumaram and Sridharan.